times. Here's Mike Winters.
That's very true.
Oh,
I
my God.
got a couple here right now.
No, don't go there.
They're the chocolate ones.
TMI.
Well, they melt in your mouth, not in your hands or your crevices.
No, I don't want to know.
As it turns out. Good morning. It is 18 minutes after 8 o'clock, and joining us in studio this morning, officially now. Official capacity, Mayor.
I sit up straight, Dennis.
That's right. You get the trumpets and the whole thing. But Mayor Dennis Kintigh with us this morning. Morning, sir.
Good morning.
How's, well, it's been a busy couple of weeks with the rain and everything and getting that. But other than that, how are things going?
Things are going good. We got a council meeting tonight, which is, of course, why I'm here.
Yeah.
And 6 o'clock at the convention center.
Mm-hmm.
Public is welcome to attend or watch us online.
Yes.
Either one, either way. And we've got the agenda, which doesn't look too bad.
To be honest,
I just jinxed myself, didn't I?
You did, but in all fairness, a lot of times on Thursdays and Fridays, he'll come in, and usually he's got like a stack of papers.
Yeah.
Like a big, I don't know, half inch to an inch of paper stack. And it looks like he's got like 2 or 3 today, so it can't be too bad.
The rest are in the car.
He condensed. Never mind.
Yeah.
That blows that theory out the water. Sorry.
I know. There we go.
So, I guess, well, let's talk about tonight first, and then maybe we'll get into what's going on with the South End and what's being done or not done in that situation there.
Yes.
But tonight is City Council, as the mayor said, 6 p.m. If you go to the city's website, roswell-nm.gov, you'll find the link to watch it. If you want to submit a question or speak during, there is also a GoToMeeting link to do that as well. But if you want to be at physically there, they do have seating available at the Convention Civic Center for you to sit and observe the meeting.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah. So I guess we'll just go with the rundown and talk about what we've got going on.
Yeah, we've got 3 public hearings on 3 different ordinances. The first one is what they call an industrial revenue bond for Leprino. The plan out there is using its funding. It's kind of a complex, in the weeds kind of funding mechanism. There's no expenditure by the city, but it allows them to get a little bit of a tax break, but they commit to making contributions to the school district, to the county, and to the city.
Gotcha. So they it's hey, we're investing back in the community through different ways.
And Leprino's actually been in discussions with us about a major attraction at the zoo that they would contribute seriously to, dealing with
dinosaurs.
No, dealing with the whole animal agriculture.
Okay.
Dairy and that stuff.
So how
go figure
how the milk gets to the table.
There we go.
Nice.
Where does it really come? Doesn't come from Walmart.
Yeah. Where does that cheese come from? Yeah, I like it.
So then after that, we got 2 dealing with 2 different ordinances. One dealing with Chapter 8. What's Chapter 8? It has to do with camping. This thing cleans up some stuff that we've been working on this. Public Safety Counselor Best had been working on this for about 5 months. Contrary to what some people think, this will allow families to have camping. Because right now, the way the darn ordinance is written, you can't camp in your yard at all.
Yeah, because you're not allowed to have any tents set up or nothing, right?
And so this is like, no. If you want to have a Boy Scout troop camp in your backyard, camp in your backyard.
Sure.
But other people, not so much.
Well, the idea is for the squatters, that's what we're trying to deter, not the kids want to have a sleepover and pitch a tent in the backyard.
So
that's not what
that's
we're talking
getting
about.
cleaned up. And then we're doing similar type work on the nuisance ordinance. So we got that stuff in the works. Then we would have gone into, or we would have passed over our consent items. We got a couple items pulled by Council Orpesa. One is a RFP. The RFP deals with, we're looking for have about 3 or 4 contractors available to do immediate work on tree removal or cleanup. If, say, we have a storm come through, which we did Memorial Day weekend, needing to deal with some of those trees. And
especially when you get in our historical district downtown. We got a lot of mature trees that, unfortunately, the wind and lightning take a beating on them sometimes.
So we need, so that's what this is. Next item is the old Chisholm School site. Now, where is that? All right.
Next to the new Chisholm School?
Yeah, right. Cute. Down in the triangle, everybody knows where the triangle is. It's between South Main and Southeast Main. South of Poe,
Okay.
but north of the cemetery, there used to be an elementary school called Chisholm.
Okay.
Years ago, it was closed along with Edgewood, which is over there in Garden, and Parkview, which became the school for the preschoolers.
Yes.
All right?
Early pre-K, whatever they call it.
Early pre-K. All right, so Chisholm was actually completely demolished. The property was transferred from the school district to the city, and it's just sat there. We got appropriation in the last legislative session to make that into a park.
Oh,
so
cool.
this is the first step towards doing that.
Nice. And that's a perfect area to do something like that.
And Councilor Foster has been a big advocate for this because, as he points out, there's nowhere in that area that's a park for the kids.
Yeah.
They have to cross either Main Street or Southeast Main, both of which are major
busy intersections, and we don't want kids crossing, or anybody really for that matter.
Now, on Southeast Main, by the way, not yet, but hopefully within the next 2 weeks, we will be opening the splash pad at Carpenter Park.
Nice.
That's the one that's across the Southeast Main from the county offices.
Yeah, this one, I think really COVID kind of, because it was in the works and about to be done pre-COVID, and then COVID hit. And
that slowed up a lot of work.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, so now we get into the fun stuff, so to speak. We're going to have a presentation from Karen Sanders, our emergency services manager. We're going to adopt, at least I hope we are, a resolution declaring a state of disaster. So the governor did issue a emergency declaration or disaster declaration yesterday, but like we were saying, spelled Chavez wrong. So,
now, what does that explain to people? What that, like, when she declares that, because that basically opens up channels and funding to the city that would not be normally available,
correct,
to them, right?
Yes, and now we have not fully assessed the damage because we still have water, which we can talk about in a minute. But there's still water flowing out there. I was out yesterday afternoon. It's come down a long ways, and what you see as soon as it starts to come down is the damage. The most obvious thing is the damage to the roads.
Yeah,
they're torn up. They're not meant to be storm sewers.
Underwater.
Yeah, they're not meant to be underwater, especially if these old ones.
Yeah.
So we will go ahead and work our way through that. Then believe it or not, it's coming up for election time. So we're going to have a resolution about the upcoming municipal election in March of 22.
I know that seems a long way in our brains, but it really isn't.
No, it's not. It's about 8 months, 8.5 months from now. Then we have another resolution dealing with the last year's audit. We had a presentation last month where the audit was presented to us. Now we will have staff explaining what we are doing as a result of the audit.
Gotcha. So
a few things we're tweaking.
The results of the information that was gained from the audit.
So that'll be kind of a snoozer. Sorry.
Well, it's one of those things that it's a snoozer when you do it right. Mm-hmm. When you don't do it right, it's not a snoozer.
then the wheels come off.
Yeah.
Next up is the disposal of some surplus property. We're getting into this routine now. We're trying to get rid of the stuff we've got stacked up for years. So these require a council action. So we're going to go through this. We'll continue doing this for quite a while. Following that, we will have two of our what we call authorization to advertise for a future public hearing.
Okay.
One's going to deal with building codes, and another one on the actual election code. Remember, we're doing a resolution designating polling locations for the municipal election, but then we have to update our election code. It's once again kind of in the weed stuff. And
a quick question,
yes.
And maybe not really a quick answer, but how is this all with the redistricting and all that? How is this all coming into play on that?
Excellent question.
Because we still haven't even gotten the numbers and everything yet, have we? I mean, how are they going to do all this?
The council approved the city manager going into contract with New Mexico Demographics. It's a firm that does redistricting work. Mm-hmm. We are supposed to be getting the actual numbers the end of September.
Okay.
New Mexico Demographics is going to work quickly, and the intent is before Thanksgiving to have the new districts drawn
Okay.
so that we can move forward with the new ward boundaries. We
Okay.
actually have 5 wards, and you've hit upon a key point there. Those are going to get shifted around significantly because of, well, I say that. I don't truly know, but
Or our population shifted in 10 years.
Well,
it just has.
Yeah, like what happened on primarily Enchanted Hills and the Spring River Apartments on Sycamore. A lot of that stuff. We had some new developments in the north side. We're going to see, I think, some significant movement in our boundaries to accommodate the change in population concentration.
Yeah. So, Billy, that'll all be sorted out in the fall. So by March, you'll know what ward you're in, or new ward, or still ward, or any. Hopefully by then.
Well, but the thing is, you've got to have it before January when people file.
So we got to get done by the end of the year. All that's got to be.
Yep.
So when people file, they're filing in the correct ward, and districts and what have you.
Now the good news is we've confirmed this through our legal department, through the city attorney, is that if the boundaries change and a sitting councilor who is not up in 22, remember we have every 2 years we have half the council.
Five get reelected or elected each term.
Yeah, 5 are elected each every 2 years. So we had people that were elected in 2020. Those folks, even if the boundary changes, they will continue to serve in the seat they're in until 2024.
And then they'll have to run in the ward that they now live in.
And the point being that they didn't move, they didn't leave, they didn't change their residence. What happened is the boundary was changed because of population.
Sure.
So the legal opinion is no, they're good.
Yeah, and it makes sense, and that's okay because the city council makes decisions for the city as a whole. It's not like, you know what I mean? It's not like they say, oh, well, we're just applying that to Ward 5, not Ward 4 or Ward 3. You know what I mean? So it's not that big a deal for an interim time like that. And you're still representing the same people because, like you said, the councilor didn't move. The neighbors are the same. Everything. It's just the imaginary lines moved around a little bit here. So
now the final item is a policy approval dealing with fire hydrant meters. What are you talking about? So this is an interesting little tidbit. You probably, if you look around town, you're going to see construction sites, and often they need water, like to keep down the dust and whatnot. So they'll go out there and they'll have the water trucks. Those water trucks will be loaded from a fire hydrant.
Gotcha.
But this is not fighting a fire. This is doing construction work.
Sure.
So you actually buy that water from the city.
Okay.
So this is the policy where you put on believe it or not, it's a temporary meter that comes from the water department. Goes on, hooks up a short hose, and then you load it up, and the rates are what's going to be in this.
Gotcha. So basically,
policy.
the construction companies can use the fire hydrant as a filling station, like a gas
water.
station.
Yeah.
But said this is water, and then they go about their day, and then they get billed at the end of the month based on the meter.
And this is something we've been doing for decades, but now we are doing a formal policy adoption by the governing body.
Gotcha.
So, it's one of these ongoing efforts to clean up and get everything really done right.
And it makes sense because, in case you haven't noticed, when they open a fire hydrant, that's pressurized water, which means that it fills up those tankers a lot quicker than some guy with a garden hose throwing it over the back.
That's right. That's for sure. So, all in all, interesting in some ways, tedious in others. We will see how it plays out.
Yeah.
We have a capacity to get bogged down on certain things. We'll see. Now, we're not going to have a wrap up tomorrow because
we're going to be doing we're going to be in Artesia and things, and
I'm not driving to Artesia at 6:30 in the morning.
He is not. So he's going to join us on Monday in the 8 o'clock hour, and we'll recap everything. Of course, you can participate and witness it for yourself.
Yes.
And then wait till Monday to hear what we have to say about it. But
what we know about it.
Yeah.
Right.
But I do want to let's talk a little bit more about what's going on in the South End, just to give people a kind of in the loop on what's going on. Because people sit there, it's like, dude, it's been a week. Why was there still standing water?
Yeah.
What is going on here? It's a whole lot. This is where red tape can be a real pain in the tail. But at the same time, it's needed because of, unfortunately, it's one of those things where red tape bites us in the butt.
Yes. And so a little bit of background. About 12 miles west of Roswell is something called the Two Rivers Reservoir. Don't grab your fishing equipment and head out there. There is no water normally in Two Rivers Reservoir. It is a flood control project that was built around 1962, and it's intended to keep the Hondo River and other streams that come out of the mountains from flooding Roswell. If you talk to the old timers that were here a gazillion years ago, back in the 30s, 40s, and 50s, there was serious flooding when there would be serious rains. So what's this comprised of? There's two dams out there, actually, earth dams.
Okay.
The north one is called the Diamond A Dam, and that one actually empties directly into the Hondo River.
Okay.
It has a valve on it so it can control how much comes out, and you can shut it down, open it up. Anyway, just south of that, a few miles, is Rocky Dam. Now, the waters will back up behind these two dams, and enough water flows down, they will actually connect.
Okay.
The waters will come together, but after a certain drop in levels, and they're two separate entities. The Rocky Dam is, like I said, just south of the Diamond A. It does not have controls on its outflow. There's no way to restrict it. Either water's going in or
it's not.
The Rocky Dam empties into what's called the Rocky Arroyo.
Okay.
Now, the Rocky Arroyo and the Hondo River parallel each other, heading east towards Roswell.
Okay.
They're separated by a mile or so, and they meander towards Roswell. About 3 miles west of the airport runway, the Rocky and the Hondo come together.
Okay.
And turn due north. So the Hondo, now it's just the Hondo, flows north a few miles and then starts to angle in towards the city.
Okay.
In that area where it goes due north, about a quarter to a half mile to the east is a berm that was built by the Chaves County Flood Commission a couple decades ago. It's about 5 feet high, and at the top it's about 5 feet wide. So what happened? The water really built up in the Rocky Reservoir and came charging down. For reasons that have still not been explained to me, others may know and understand, the flow from the Rocky Arroyo did not and is not going directly into the Hondo. What's impeding it or what's blocking it, I don't know. I shouldn't say we, but I do not know. But I've been out there a number of times. I've looked at the aerial photos. Just don't know.
Gotcha.
Well, as a result, water flowed into this big area that's between the Hondo and that berm that I spoke about. Sometime on Monday, that water became so intense that it flowed over that levee or berm, whatever you want to call it, started to erode the east side, and in at least 2 locations breached the levee.
Gotcha.
That water continues to flow as of yesterday afternoon at 2:45, because I was out there at the airport then. It's still flowing. Right now, what's been going on is that last Thursday we had a meeting. I say a meeting. Army Corps of Engineers, City of Roswell staff, some folks from Chaves County, the State Department of Homeland Security and Emergency Management came down. We went out to the Two Rivers Dam, and then the Corps of Engineers, the city, and Homeland Security went down to the airport. At that time, it was very vigorous, the flow.
Mm-hmm.
And what we're seeing is the water really coming into the Hobson Road area. The Hobson Road is the east-west highway road along the north side of the air center. It was basically a river, and it overflowed the bar ditches. The houses on the north side were inundated. Monday, it was so heavy that the water was flowing into the housing at the air center. Burn Street, which is an east-west street on the very north side of the old base housing. I was there, and I will tell you, it was not curb to curb. It was door to door.
Wow. One
of our city councilors lives out there, Councilor Moore. Went to check on her. She was okay, but she had sandbags at her front door. The water continues to flow to the east, You get across Main Street. There is actually a culvert under Main Street, but it was overwhelmed with the amount of water. The water is flowing down bar ditches and into the fields, continues east to the railroad spur. And it started to wash out part of the railroad spur.
Oh, wow.
Work was done on that over the last few days. The primary water is flowing down the north side of that railroad spur to 285. It goes under 285 and continues east. There's additional water, though, that's coming in these big areas. The old boot scooters area, that area was completely inundated. There's a couple culverts that go under 285. That water was flowing through there into the pecan orchards. Water was flowing into the South Springs River, and there's a housing development down there, South Spring Acres, and nice homes, and none of them from apparently were impacted. All in all, it's been going on since Monday. We believe the levee was breached on Monday. Hats off to Karen Sanders, our emergency services manager. Tuesday, last week, this is now Thursday, so we're talking 9 days ago. Ms. Sanders was, took a helicopter ride, and the Air Center staff, the City Air Center staff arranged for this. Mr. Steve Christopher and Mr. Scott Massey got her an air helicopter ride to find out where the water was coming from, because at this point
they don't know.
We didn't know. That's the first time we saw that there was a breach of the levee. And there's two breaches, as I say. I don't know if have you seen the pictures?
Some of them, not all of them.
All right, well, it's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
On Tuesday, it's like a raging river come through.
Yeah.
We had meetings on Wednesday with the Flood Commission. We had meetings Thursday. Continues to try to coordinate it. The position from the Flood Commission is that they will wait until the water goes down and it dries out, and then they'll repair the levees. Candidly, I wish we could have done something
Divert the water or something.
divert the water or reduce the flow. The word I've gotten is that as of noon yesterday, Rocky Dam has dropped so that there's no longer water going in.
Okay.
But it takes a while for all the water that's already in the system to drain out to the east. As I said, yesterday at 2:45, it was still flowing, nowhere near as severely, but
Right.
there's still homes. The Walker Post Office is closed, as far as I know.
Yeah, that's been closed for a week now here.
Yeah.
I think it is bad, and it's still, but hopefully this water, I guess this dry spell is probably helpful in some of this here.
Yes.
These 105 and 108s definitely help evaporate water a lot quicker.
They do, which is in some ways kind of a sad thing, because we'd rather have the water go
Yeah,
to
can we
Pecos.
throw this on some crops or something?
Yeah, but yes, so we're hopeful that this will dry out quickly, and then the improvements can be made.
Sure.
But it's been an interesting, I'll tell you what, interesting 10 days.
Sure.
It's been amazing. I've been out on Hobson Road more times than I care to think about.
You got a very intimate time with
I want you to know I've pushed my luck in the RAV4. There's been more than a couple of times when I'm going, oh my goodness.
Now, does yours have 4-wheel drive?
Yeah, but
Okay.
it ain't a pickup.
I used to own a RAV4 that did not have 4-wheel drive, and it was great to drive around in, but you had any kind of rough road, that thing would get stuck every time.
Well, and we had, interestingly enough, there's we had a meeting with the RISD on Wednesday of last week, so it's been 8 days ago. I haven't had a chance to follow up with the superintendent to find out what they finally ended up doing, but there was real concern then about, it's just 2 days of school were left, but Sunset and University High being able to get the buses into and out of. You could get to the Air Center without going through any water if you went down Southeast Main and then came in off of Hobson at South
Drive
285.
the loop around, basically. Yeah, okay.
So that way you could do it, but that was a lot further. The roads that going into Sunset were dicey. Charleston, which is the East Grand Plains on the west side of 285. I never tried that. I was, that intimidated me because it looked like so much water.
Yeah, and hopefully people were heeded that. And we always tell people, if you see running water across the road, don't drive across it.
Oh, no. Yeah, exactly. And, of course, I say that. And
here's the mayor.
well, because I got to go there. I got to go see it, right? It's like, oh, my gosh, what kind of... it's like... The male mind is incredibly capable of doing stupid stuff.
That's why we get married. That's the only reason why. I think some guys, that's the only reason why they get married is just to keep them out of trouble.
They live to an older age. They got somebody to be their adult
just
supervision.
to tell them to say no, don't do that.
That's dumb. So I actually took Carol out there Sunday. We went down to look at it, and she stopped me from going on. No, you're not going down that road. And she was right. She was spot on.
But, but you, in your head, you're like, I could have made it. I know you were in the head. I could have made it.
I got to go see this. I got to see what's going on. It's like, oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So, all in all, it's been very demanding.
But they really can't do much until it lowers enough to really, or at least that's what's been told to the city, and that's how that's being handled. So.
That's right. That's how this is being handled. We're going to do some evaluations, and this is one of the interesting things about these disaster declarations. We're truly not going to know what all the damages are until the water does go down.
Until it recedes.
But what I saw yesterday on the perimeter road, Hobson, and as you know, Hobson, that road turns south to go along the west side of the air center, the old base perimeter road. There's huge chunks of potholes. The water had just washed out the asphalt. And
now, do they have to? I'm no road crew expert. Is it filling potholes, or do they have to redo that whole road?
I had that very discussion with the city manager yesterday, and we will have to do a whole evaluation.
Okay.
His suspicion is that it's going to need some major work because it's really a function of how well was the road built in the first place. And I hate to say it, but that road was originally built during the Second World War when they were focusing on other things.
Sure.
And they needed to have a perimeter road.
Sure. So the quality of the road, it was built for speed, not for comfort.
Right. Now, we did a lot of work. We did a hot recycle to it a few years ago. If I remember right, that went all the way. I knew it was on the east side, YO Road, but I'm not sure it went around to this side. But that's all impacted. Central Control is on Hobson. Now, what's Central Control? Central Control is where our water department folks man it 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. They oversee our water pumps, our water system to make sure you have water for your sink, for your toilet at 3 o'clock in the morning.
Gotcha.
And they make sure it's running all the time. And if somebody spots a water leak, saying we have them, it happens. We had one out here in front of the Carnegie Library. Remember that about 4 years ago?
Yeah.
And
that was like doozy.
Yeah, it was like, bam, all of a sudden. Well, the calls go into Central Control. Central Control has a whole way of alerting the repair crews, and that way those guys are out at 4:30 in the morning already working on it.
So they're just there keeping tabs on everything, and they get a bell or alarm saying something's wrong, they respond.
Well, on Monday, Memorial Day, it was so bad, they shut down Central Control and evacuated it.
Wow.
For about 5 hours, our folks were manually operating the water pumps for the city.
Wow.
From remote locations. And hats off to the water crews. They are doing, they did a great job. The deputy city manager, Mike Matthews, spent an incredible amount of time out there on Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. Mike was just out there all the time. We've got really good people, committed people to this city, and I will be a broken record here. My hat's off to Deputy City Manager Mike Matthews and Emergency Management Supervisor Karen Sanders.
Yeah,
Awesome
these are
people.
the folks that when everything's going smooth, in the world, you really don't hear much from them. It's when
Nope.
these times like these, and that's when they step up and have to kick butt, and they do it every time. And yeah, like you said, those to the folks that are calling the shots, to the ones that are standing in the hip deep in the water, turning wrenches to get it back. Every one of them we appreciate. So.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And so it's been an interesting time. Like I said, it seems to be that's all I've thought about, talked about, read about, wrote about for the last 10 days.
Yeah. And good news is hopefully we're going to see this stuff get fixed and going quick. So.
A couple quick thing is that the Memorial Day event at the Veterans Cemetery got canceled.
Yeah, the water was not.
There's preliminary plans. I won't say these are final yet, but there's been some discussion to do that ceremony on July 5th.
Yes.
Monday, July 5th.
I've heard that too. Yeah.
And so those of our veterans, and it's Memorial Day, so it's not, it's different. It's not Veterans Day, it's Memorial Day. So that's going to be, like I said, tentatively planned for July 5th.
Yeah, more to come on that as we get the details fleshed out there.
And which is the 4th of July is on Sunday. Everybody's going to be doing their normal 4th of July fireworks and cookout and everything like that. And then I think in some ways it makes a real fitting day.
Yeah. Hey, we got to go, but real quick, you're talking 4th of July. Hey, for the UFO Fest and all the stuff that's going to be happening, the Roswell Community Little Theater they're the ones kind of putting together a battle of the bands. And if you want to get in on this, the winner of the battle of the bands gets to open for Shovel Shepherd at the UFO Fest on the 2nd. So go to roswelllittletheater.org.
Yep.
Or .com. I'm sorry, roswelltheater.com, I think it is. And you go there and you can learn more, get all the details, information, register, and get your videos up and all that. But you got to get it in by next week, by next Wednesday, the 15th or something. So, the Roswell Theater website, go there, or their Facebook, and then who knows, maybe your band's opening for Shovel Shepherd on UFO Festival there.
We're excited about getting UFO Festival back, and we're looking forward to it. So.
Yeah,
Yay.
Absolutely. Good deal. Well, thank you, sir.
Absolutely.
Again, we will talk to the mayor Monday morning, 8:15.
Flag Day.
And we want to recap everything and talk about what happened here last night. But you, the general public, are encouraged and invited to view and participate via the city's website, roswell-nm.gov, or there is seating available at the convention center for you to sit during the meeting. So,
yes, sir.
Good deal. Well, thank you, sir. We'll see you later here, or see you on Monday. Or
yes, sir.
Sean will. So
yeah, I know.
I'm going to the Grand Canyon.
Are you really?
I am. We're gonna get my hover round out.
Don't fall in.
I make no promises.
You can do that. You can do that clear.
We're gonna try. It depends. We're gonna try. That's on the list.
I won't do that.
I won't bungee jump, but I'll walk on that bridge. I'm
not doing that.
It's gonna be my. I may leave something on the bridge, but I'll be just sprawled out.
Yeah.
So, thank you, sir. We'll see
Absolutely.
you next time. All right. It is 8:15.